Welcome to our YouTube channel on Success and Women. Women helping women.
Come join us.
See you soon. Welcome to this week's episode of Success and Women. I'm Linda.
I'm Andrea.
And today we're going to talk about
practicing what we preach.
Because every week we come and we tell you different things to help you become successful. And so we're going to have an episode all about practicing what you preach. But before we do that, Andrea's got her tip for this week.
Yes, so I'm always thinking of ways to repurpose and recycle items that we use every day. Like when I told you about the coffee mate containers and using them for store rice or whatever. Well, I saw one the other day and I thought, wow, that's a good idea, because the cookies that we buy, they come with trays inside, and they're all individual. There could be 4 or 5 little slots where they put the cookies. And I thought, wow, that's a good idea, because once you're finished with it, you could use it, say, for your kids to separate crayons, or in the garage you could put different nails, different sizes, and you don't have to go out and buy all these plastic containers. It's right there, beautiful trays. So think about that next time you throw in a cookie bag away.
Okay, so getting back to practicing what we preach. And we really do try very hard to give you ideas of things that you can do to become more successful in your life.
That we also use.
That we also do. But to give you an example, recently, Andrea was telling me about a phone call she had.
So recently we did an episode on moving, where Linda had said that in order to have longevity, you must move your body, and that's walking every day. So my girlfriend called me, I guess the morning she watched the episode, and said, I'm challenging you. And I said, why? What's going on? She says, did you walk today? And I said, what? She said, did you walk today? I just finished watching your episode and I went for a walk, and I thought, I'm going to call you. And I thought, no, I didn't, but I know Linda did, right?
I did a lot of walking, and not only did I go walking, my sister and I took a walk around in the development that we're in. There's a lot of different little areas in the community. And so my sister wanted to show me an area, and I kept putting it off. But anyway, I said, you know what, we'll go for the walk. And it happened to be on a Saturday. And we go on our walk and we do all this big loop, and we come around and they're having a moving sale. And my sister goes, let's go in and check it out. I'm not usually too much into garage sales and stuff, because I'm always trying to purge instead of bring more stuff into the house. But I figured, you know what, we might as well. We're in the area. We might as well look and see if there's anything. Might as well. And when I went in, actually what was interesting as well was I met up with 2 of the golfing ladies that are in my golf league. And they were the ones that were hosting the moving sale. They do this for a business. And success when you're older, ladies, because it's never too late. Anyway, I was talking with them, and I said, I'm not really looking for anything, but my sister wanted to check it out. I said, if I did, I would like to find a bar, because I needed a small bar that I could put in my dining area, just to, put my wine glasses and my wine and, some of my other liquor bottles that I have somewhere, because they take up a lot of room in the cupboards. And, you never have enough cupboard space.
No, never.
So she brings me in. She goes, come and see this. Brings me into the other room. And lo and behold, there's a bar with 2 stools that are going for the biggest bargain I think I've ever had in my lifetime. Wow. It's a beautiful set of bamboo bar with the 2 bamboo stools. And I'm sure knew it would retail over $4,000 for this set.
Wow.
I was able to buy it at a nice bargain at $75.
Wow.
And this is what happens when you move. You find the bargains of a lifetime.
See, so not only did you move, you found a bargain and you got something that you needed.
It was amazing, and so you never know what you're going to find
when you're out there.
When you're out there moving. But I have to tell you this as well, Andrea, because this happened recently. You know, and one of the things when we talked about moving and other things, and we'll get to that. But the thing is, in movement and longevity, when we talked about that, my mom, who's 91, going to be 92 in June, started to lose her mobility because my mother, I think personally, I know she had sore legs, but she got lazy and felt that if she was moving them, it would aggravate her more. So instead, she would sit a lot more, she would lie down a lot more, to the point where she went from actually being able to walk to going into a walker. And again, because the legs were bothering her, she was again sitting more than she was walking, even with the walker, to the point where we had to get her a wheelchair. This made my mother even lazier. And so what's happening now is that she has absolutely no strength in her legs. And now, because the only thing she's really doing with her arms is moving the wheelchair, because it's not an electric one, which she did want an electric one, but then she'd be totally useless with her arms, because then she wouldn't be moving those except to just feed herself.
Right.
But she's gotten to the point in a very short time, and this happens very quickly. So your body will tell you very quickly, I need to move.
Yeah.
Because if I don't move, I'm going to seize up. And this is what's happening with my mom.
What do they say? Use it or lose it.
Use it or lose it.
Yeah.
And so now we're at a stage where our family has to put our mom in a nursing home because she needs that kind of care. But it was, I'm going to say, a lot of it was self-inflicted. It wasn't just because of her age, because, you know, I have a friend, I mean, she's not a close friend like Andrea and I are, but she's a friend enough that I talk to a couple times a year, and she lives in her own house. She's only a month younger than my mom.
Wow.
And she still lives in her own house, does her own stuff.
Well, like Eddie's aunt, you know, 92.
Exactly.
And lives in her own home, but she still drives.
Because she's moving.
She's moving. Every day she moves. Yes.
So
you have to move.
It's one of those things that when we talk to you about the different things, so other things that we practice what we preach.
Yeah. So, you know how I'm always saying, you're never too old to try something new. So I decided, and it's been sitting here for at least 2 to 3 years, needing to be done, and I kept putting it off. Well, now I said, practice what you preach, Andrea. So I have a side table that I have in the entranceway where you drop keys, whatever. And I had a flood a couple years back, and the whole top, it has a glass insert, but the whole frame of it got wet and started peeling and chipping off, and I just kept cleaning it up off the floor. So now I did it. So with Nancy's help, she came over, we stripped the
My
paint.
sister.
Yes, her sister. I bought the stripper, we got everything we needed. We stripped it. It took us about 3 days, because once you strip it, you have to let it sit, and then we varnished it. I just wanted the clear wood on top, because the rest of it's still okay and it's painted. So I didn't want to try and match color or new color. I love the natural wood. And now it looks beautiful. I'm so happy I did it.
And you're going to see it on Instagram.
Instagram? Yes, on Instagram. I sort of journaled how it went, and so you should see it on there. Now,
bringing us to that part about it's never too late, and that's for anything, do-it-yourself projects, getting a new job, new career, whatever. So Andrea and I decided that you ladies haven't got enough of us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now we've decided you're going to see us on TikTok.
TikTok, yay!
Yeah. So
let's see how that goes.
So we hope that you tune in for the TikTok short videos, because we're going to be sharing a lot of the au naturel in our lives and the stuff that we're doing.
Exactly.
And again, to move forward in success, whatever it is that we're doing. And so that's our new adventure,
Our
because
new adventure.
you're never too old.
Never too old.
So we want to make sure that you know that we do practice what we preach. And all these little tips that Andrea gives you
Yes.
are things that she's actually doing in the kitchen. And when I say she is, because Andrea's a lot more domesticated than I am, only because she loves to, do these things for her family. So she's always baking, but she's always making sure her house is well organized. My sister Nancy, who she's mentioned, that helped her with the do-it-yourself project, is also somebody that helps me organize my own home, because she's done it for hers. And my sister can't get enough of organizing and cleaning, so she's constantly helping me, so I don't have to do it, because, I'm doing other things that I choose to do, which a lot of it is learning.
Like golfing.
Well, and actually, speaking of golfing, Andrea, practice what you preach. You got to have a balanced life between work and play.
That's right.
And so recently we had our club championship down in Florida here. And not that I won the club champion, which I did not expect to. I am not a club champion. Not to say that I couldn't ever be.
And then you don't try.
But I do try.
Yeah.
I do try. And every time I go out golfing, I try. But I actually it was over the week, so we had 2 games. The first game and the second game, then they, balanced it out. Then they took off the handicap. But in the end, I actually won the low net for my flight.
Good.
And whether or not you know golf, when you have different tiers, it doesn't matter. The fact is, I won something.
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
It is. And we will be having a spring luncheon that they will be awarding those people that have won on the club championship tournament their little prizes. And for me, it's a big thing, because
Of course.
I am very competitive, but I don't usually win when it's individual sports. I try everything. But I love team sports, because
Yes.
I usually find I can get myself on a very strong team, because I love to win. And but again, it's trying that's more important than anything else.
Exactly.
So I'm a good loser as well. I just don't like it.
I don't think so.
Yeah. But you never know who's going to challenge you on what you've said or what you do,
Yeah,
or like, because with
you're
Andrea
putting
and I,
out there,
what
yeah.
you're putting out there, because a lot of you might have things out there on your Facebook or Instagram as well, and other people are noticing.
Exactly. I get a lot of different messages and calls on certain things, and so that tells me that they're listening and that they want to know things.
And they're keeping you on your toes.
And they're keeping me on my toes. It's like the other day when I was baking, and I remembered my tip about the parchment paper, because I was making cookies. And if you put parchment paper on those cookie sheets, they just roll up. I thought, hey, my tip. So I wet it, I laid it down. Oh, it's just a beautiful thing. And then I put my cookies on and made them, and it turned out really nice. So
there was another thing that you were talking about too. When it came to baking, I don't know about you, but I love blueberries, and blueberries always tend to bleed, whether it's in pancakes or cakes or whatever, but they bleed. And Andrea had made this really nice bundt lemon raspberry. And it was so interesting, because when she cut into it, you could see the raspberries beautiful in there, and they didn't go red throughout the whole lemon cake. And I asked her, how did you do that? And she was telling me on a tip that she got, you just roll them, dip them in flour.
Toss them, yeah.
Toss them in.
You throw in a tablespoon of flour and just toss them. And then throw them in the batter.
Which would work the same way with blueberries, right? And I thought, wow, that's pretty good. So, yeah, we do practice what we preach, and we're always learning. No matter what it is, we're always learning.
I love to learn new things, and especially for my cooking and my baking. I'm always looking for new ways to do things, better ways, tastier ways, how to combine certain things. The other day I made a bunch of banana bread, and I've always made it the same way for years. And I came across this recipe for with sour cream in it.
I've heard of that. I
Yeah.
haven't ever tried that.
So I did it, and
Oh.
they're really moist, and you'll get to try it later.
Wow. Wow, that's
You know, so we do, and it's like decluttering. I went through my whole closet here in Florida, got rid of a lot of stuff.
and that's the other thing,
yeah.
because we were practicing, if you declutter, it helps you declutter your mind. It
Yes.
takes a lot of stress off you that you don't even realize you're carrying.
Yeah, like the job's done. And the same with the table. When I got the table finished, I was like, oh, phew, good. And the same with my patio furniture. It had been pitted over the years, the metal parts. And I had a friend of mine come and we sanded it down, and he did most of it and spray painted it. Now I got that job done. I got the table done. I got my decluttering done. It's such a good feeling.
Well, you know, it's interesting you mentioned that, because I have a list of all the little projects I want to get done in my apartment as well. And I took it off. It was on the magnet on the side of the fridge, and I took it down, and I started going through, and I was like, oh my God, that's done, that's done, that's done. And it did feel good. Even like when you declutter your house, when you declutter your projects, that they all
Yes.
get off the
Yes.
to-do list.
Exactly.
Wow. So we're always practicing what we preach. I mean, really, it
Yeah.
just doesn't end. And now I'm always kind of looking when I go into a cupboard or I go into my closet and thinking, do I really need that? Am I using that? Or can somebody else benefit from my, you know, I'm going to
Getting
say
rid of
item,
it, or-
because
yeah.
I don't need to have a lot of stuff.
Well, what do they say? Your garbage is someone
Else's
else's
treasure.
treasure. And remember that, because even sometimes you think, oh, nobody will wear that. Well, you'd be surprised, because even some of the older vintage stuff we have, the younger generation
They love it.
that stuff. And they repurpose it.
Yes.
They redesign it, or they jazz it up.
But do you know that even, especially denim in particular, if you have old denim, definitely donate that, because my brother-in-law has 2 daughters from his first marriage, and they repurpose denim like you have no idea how talented these girls are.
My daughter too.
Oh,
With her friend, they have, it's called Bougie Babies, or Baby Bougies, and they go to the thrift stores and they pick up these denim jackets, vests, dresses for children, and my daughter bedazzles them with her crystals that she does on Blinged Out Besties, and she does little designs on the back, and then my girlfriend, her friend, sells them in their secondhand store.
isn't that fantastic?
It
I
is.
mean, you wouldn't even think about, you know, necessarily how this becomes a really nice piece of clothing,
Yeah.
you know, in somebody else's closet now, because it looks brand new.
Looks brand
And
new.
you know, with denim, I mean, the
Oh.
thing is, the older it is, the better it is. It's got that
Exactly.
really nice, you know, worn look, but they sell that kind of worn look for big dollars. And now if you can buy them in secondhand stores and then
Yeah.
repurpose like that, oh my God,
I know.
a bargain and a half. And I'm talking about my bargain finding for my piece of furniture that,
Right.
I mean, I've been sending, you know, showing pictures and stuff, because I can't believe and I think I've actually, because I had a hard time getting it home and fitting it, but you can probably find it on TikTok.
Right. Oh,
Because
we're gonna put it on TikTok.
Yes, I decided to film that. I was so impressed finding it on a walk. I just went for a walk. And this is the other thing. We talked about this. Andrea had mentioned about putting off my sister, you know, from
Right.
this particular walk. I mean, I've been going out walking, but I didn't go to this neighborhood that she wanted me to go into. And it was that particular day that the universe said, Linda, you go on this walk
Yes.
in that neighborhood. How else could I have found this piece of furniture? And
Right.
since I bought this condo, I've been wanting something to go in this one space in my dining area for that purpose of
Right.
having the glasses. And I know we've talked about it when we were looking for other furniture. And I said, you know, this is still a piece. I've got to look for something. I've got to look
Yeah.
for something. when I first discovered it, I thought maybe we would redo it. But when we got it in and my sister cleaned it and disinfected the whole thing, it was like, it looks like a brand new piece of furniture.
Wow. And it is bamboo. So
And it's bamboo.
You want it to show
The natural.
Yes.
It's incredible. I'm like,
And that's
wow.
the other thing we always say, take every opportunity to, if somebody asks you to go for a cup of coffee or go for a ride, or you never know who you might meet, what
That's
you
right.
might see, what you might find. It's living life, like living and getting out there, and don't sit at home like because her mom and my mom were very capable of living better than they did in the last 5 years.
Yes.
And it upsets me because I don't think they should have been so unhappy. They were living, they were alive, they were good, they could talk, they could walk, they could do things.
They could go out.
They could go out, but they gave up.
Yeah.
They stopped learning things. They stopped.
And that's key, I think, Andrea.
Yes.
I think, when you stop learning, you stop living.
Right. And I had so often wanted to teach her the Facebook or I asked her to help me make something. Oh, I can't do that anymore. Just the attitude was not there. And unfortunately,
that's another good one, is keeping the right attitude.
Yeah. We're here. We're alive. Let's live.
Yeah. So on that note, we're going to sign off for this week. But remember,
like,
share,
and subscribe, please. And find us on TikTok.
Yes, TikTok. Until next week.